Northern Brewery takes you where home brewing and craft brewing meet. From pro breweries to home breweries, we live and breathe beer. Craft beer celebrities, homebrew luminaries, brew sessions, and most important of all, lots of great beer. You are watching Brewing TV. Howdy citizens, I'm Jake Keeler.
I'm Michael Dawson.
We're from Northern Brewer, and this is Brewing TV.
We're coming to you today from Manhattan, Kansas, home of Tallgrass Brewing Company and Northern Brewer's latest Pro Series kits.
Manhattan, Kansas.
Manhattan, Kansas, home of great beer.
Yes.
The big brewery is quiet today though, so head brewer Andrew Hood and myself are going to get after a small-scale, homebrew size, one-off batch.
Then I'm going to catch up with Jeff Gill, founder and owner of Tallgrass Brewing Company. We're going to talk about how this place got started and talk about these Pro Series kits from Northern Brewer. And then later tonight, we're going to go to Annie Mae's. We're going to tap a Firqan of 8-bit with strawberries and extra dry hops called Miss Pac-Man. So join us on this adventure as we...
Wait.
What?
Point of order. This episode is also special because there's a drinking game.
Ooh.
Andrew Hood is an aficionado of California surfer street slang. So every time someone says,
critical,
you need to take a drink. So join us as we get critical on this brew day, rap day, Firqan day at Tallgrass. All for brew.
Brew for critical. Oh man.
Keeping it honest. Tallgrass Brewing Company has been producing craft beer goodness since 2007. The brewery is located in the small college town of Manhattan, Kansas, where they enjoy a strong local fan base as they grow into other markets outside the state. Tallgrass is also Northern Brewer's newest partner in our line of Pro Series beer kits. Thanks to this collaboration, home brewers everywhere can now make their own small batches of Oasis, Halcyon, Buffalo Sweat, and Velvet Rooster. Inside these brewery walls, there's a lot of beer exploration going on, and we were excited to be a part of it. On the day we visited, all was quiet in the big brew house, so we got busy doing what we love to do, home brewing. Andrew Hood, we're in your hood. We're in the brew house.
We're in the brew house.
This is what we're actually going to be brewing on today.
Exactly. So we're not brewing anything on the big system. We're going to be brewing essentially just a test batch, a fun collaboration batch, a black blonde ale. On my homebrew system here, so.
A black blonde ale, that, not to step on any toes, that sounds like something you just made up.
It pretty much is something that we just made up.
What are we gonna do?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna mash in, our grain bill is gonna be midnight wheat, pale malt, little Vienna, maybe a little something that we're gonna have. Essentially, it's gonna be pretty ridiculous. It's gonna be critical.
You brew on this professionally, but you still do this for fun.
Most definitely. I love home brewing. Obviously, the homebrew community, that's how we all started. But essentially, when I'm not, brewing production beers, I'm also experimenting a lot too. So
this is a good way to do it.
This is the best way to do it. We need beers, I'm pretty sure.
Grain first, then beer?
Beer
first, then grain.
How about both?
Okay, let's divide and conquer. I'll get some beers and I'll meet you in the grain room.
All right, sounds good. So we're in our grain room here at Tallgrass. Pretty much this room houses all of our specialty malt. What we normally do for a normal brew day is we would take and mill everything into this mill right here. It's a 2-roller. Then we've got our grist case right next to us. We do not have a silo at the moment, so these guns, basically everything, all the bags of grain, we have bag 2-row, bag specialty malt, everything just gets thrown in here, and we've got very strong brewers here. So, but today we're not going to actually use the big mill, we're going to use the small guy. So we're going to be milling in our black blonde ale through this little guy right here. It's going to be epic. We'll do 25 pounds of base malt, and then we'll do like a pound of Vienna. We can do a pound of Munich 10, like a quarter of a pound or maybe something even a little bit lighter, the black or the midnight wheat.
Color it up a little bit. Are
color
you just
it up.
winging this,
Yeah,
Mr. Hood?
totally, 100%. It's gonna be critical.
Critical.
It's gonna be.
Oh.
Oh, it smells.
Smells awesome.
Smells so good.
Critical mash.
Critical. This is a high frequency mash.
Oh, I can feel the vibrations.
Oh, so many vibrations are going on right now. This is an epic mash.
It is epic. And you're making, I mean, you have a recipe sheet. I don't think it's been filled out yet.
I think like maybe like 1/10 of it has been filled out.
What does it take to be able to wing a recipe and have it turn out?
Essentially brewing a lot. I know you brew a lot.
But this is a question we get
But-
asked a lot by viewers, recipe formulation. How do you do it?
Essentially, it comes down to, the willingness to just be creative. You can brew out of style. I love brewing out of style.
Oh, you mean this isn't going to be like a textbook classic black blonde?
This will not be under the BJCP category of anything.
Tut tut.
Maybe specialty ale. That's about it. It just creativity, and then just getting comfortable with your system and knowing what to expect. And so I've come to determine that I know what I'm going to get out of the system.
Mm-hmm.
I know how efficiently it works, and then just using these ingredients, I know I've got a pretty good guesstimation of how it's going to turn out. It's going to be a rock star. How I really got started was I asked for a homebrew kit for my birthday, and I was living down in Santa Barbara at the time, and so I didn't want a Mr. Beer kit. I was like, no, I want the full-fledged carboy, kettle, bucket. I wanted to take and put the product into the bombers, just like a standard kit that you guys sell. So essentially, I got it for my birthday and brewed at my apartment at the time a pale ale, and I'm sure today if I tasted it, it would just be god awful. But it was something that the process really, like, I was drawn in by the process. The actual malt boiling in my house, it smelled incredible. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. It was like an epiphany. I started in Tallgrass in December of 2010, and it's been amazing so far. Just being able to use my creativity to no certain extent, just straight go for it. If I think of it, I'll try to brew it, or if I have the time to brew it, I will brew it, and yeah.
It seems like the Firqan program you guys do is a really good outlet for that, and it seems like they can just kind of let Hood off the leash.
Yeah. The Firqan program, that is incredible. I do small tinctures, so I can get a feel of what the actual beer is going to taste like as well. But anything from candy cap mushrooms, which my mom sends me from Berkeley, I'll take those and sterilize them and put them in vodka, and then take them out and put them into Oasis, and that's our Psych Oasis cask. Buffalo Sweat with 3 pounds of toasted coconut in it and chocolate. Buffalo Sweat with vanilla beans. I mean, I've got a list that's like this long.
Tell us about the cask that you guys are tapping tonight at Auntie May's Parlor here in Manhattan.
Sure, it is Miss Pac-Man. Basically, it's our brand new 8-bit, our pale ale that we take, and we hop rock it with Galaxy from Australia. I took that cask and put some strawberry extract in it with Galaxy and Cascade whole leaf hops. So it's been dry hopped for a second time.
So Jeff, we were talking yesterday and you were telling me about your background in engineer and your background in home brewing. How did that play into the creation of Tallgrass Brewing Company?
Well, I kind of my engineering and geology types of background, that scientific background, really helped with me having the confidence that, hey, we could put together basically a factory. Like, it gave me the confidence, yeah, we can figure that out as we go along and get that technical side of things going, and then also the contacts I had made through that and through homebrewing too.
Yeah.
Funny enough, lots of industrial electricians make homebrew.
Yeah.
And so those guys were handy to have around. I've always enjoyed the process of brewing as much as the beer itself.
Right.
You know? And when I had that much fun and was making good beer as a home brewer, and then I saw the enjoyment that people had drinking that, and then, it's just those combination of factors was like, why don't I do this for a living?
Yeah.
It's like being a geologist and doing that sort of thing. It was fine, but it wasn't something that I was like, yeah, I want to do this for the next 30 years of my life. This is something that I want to do
Absolutely.
for the next 30 years of my life. This is pretty fun. As we went along, it really started to evolve into, why are we doing this?
Right.
Always asking that question, why? And when it got down to the nitty gritty, it's like, well, we're just doing this because we like sitting around and drinking beer with our best friends.
Yeah.
Like, well, how does that translate into, bringing a beer to market? It's like, well,
Right.
let's brew something that we'd want to drink and hang out and with our best friends, and then, we're kind of we just like doing random things and making jokes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, well, let's Vel Rooster. That'd be a hell of a name for a beer. So, and those sorts of things just come together to be something, or for us to create brands that we want to sit around and drink with our best friends.
Yeah.
The brand's a conversation piece, the beer's a conversation piece, and it all translates to a good time. We're big believers in, okay, if we're going to come out with a beer, then it needs to be a brand. Like, people
Yeah.
buy brands. They
Right.
just don't go in and like, I'm going to buy a brown ale today.
Right.
They go, I'm going to go buy Tallgrass Ale or a Buffalo Sweat, or that's what they buy.
Right.
And so we're always cognizant of that when we're developing something. And so we want to have a strong brand and a strong beer.
Right.
And so that it makes it memorable. And the best part is when you have something like 8-Bit, like the branding there, just like, it just
screams,
takes up
yeah.
legs by itself,
Yeah.
And especially when it just comes from the heart like that did with us just loving Tecmo Bowl and everything.
Yeah.
These dudes certainly know how to have fun with their brands. This spring, we hit up a release party for their new 8-Bit Pale Ale at one of our favorite local beer bars, Nomad World Pub in Minneapolis. Obviously, a nod to the old school Nintendo wonks. 8-Bit is an awesome pale ale, hop-rocketed with Galaxy hops. The party was a blast from the past. Multiple gaming stations set up for open play. Classics like Duck Hunt, Contra, Tecmo Bowl, one-on-one Tetris on the big screen, a live band playing theme music from some of our favorite games. Look, even Rupert from the Oasis can showed up. What up, Rupert? All part of making the beer more than just a beer.
The promos that we've done with that have been great, and we're going to continue to do great ones like that. For God's sake, we're putting a Nintendo lounge in here at the brewery. So that sort of stuff is really, really fun, and it's something that we look to do with all of our brands as they come out. And that's the fun aspect. That's the conversational piece that we want to have when people are sitting around drinking our beer. We were talking a little bit about how our brands have kind of evolved over the years, and since I guess the concept of what I had envisioned for our brands when I was writing our original business plan, and that it's vastly different now than then. We were very much thinking, oh yeah, very heritagey type of brewery, and let's have a brown ale, and then let's do a Belgian wit, and things like that. And now I'm just like, geez, what were you thinking? It's like that's not really keeping it real. That's doing what you think you should be doing instead of following your instincts and just doing what you would want to sit down and hang out with your buddies and drink. Originally, when we started, we used a lot of my home brews. In fact, Oasis was a home brew of mine. I brewed that all the time.
Yeah.
And then when we started doing that commercially, we started adding more and more hops. It used to be much more of a true ESB. Like, our palate kind of changed a little bit. Now it's evolved to where, and I've learned as the leader here at Tallgrass to develop the talents of just artists, whether it's from our marketing guy Tom, who's a great writer and comes up with great ideas, to Neil, who does our can designs, to the guy who does our puppets, to finally Andrew Hood. I mean, Andrew's a great artist. We're certainly not asking him to do the books here or anything like that. We just want to let him run and have all the freedom that he wants to put together really cool ideas on what he thinks would be good flavors and good brews to have, because he is a really, really talented brewer.
Right.
And I look forward to the day where we're doing, either some bombers or one-off types of cans that are just whatever the hell Andrew wanted to create.
What do we have here, Mr. Hood?
So what we have here is one of the little side projects that I do. This actually came from my house. What I did is I took our ale and took it.
What's the Tallgrass ale? What's the base beer?
It is a English mild, or a Northern English brown ale. So what I ended up doing is took a carboy, cleaned it, took it basically from my house, brought it here, and racked the beer. This is just the Tallgrass ale, racked it straight out of a 60 barrel fermenter into the carboy, and then took it back to my house where I inoculated it with a secondary fermentation of the White Lab sour blend and 5.5 pounds of tart cherries. And then also what I ended up putting in this is French oak. I boiled out the tannins for a little bit and soaked them in Cabernet to imitate a barrel. So, and then this aged for about 7 months. So it has like a nice acidic tart cherry character. You get some of the pedio and the lacto. And then also you can really taste the fake barrel, as I call it.
Yeah, I really like that.
Cabernet.
Super good idea. It's really kind of cedary and cigar boxy.
It really
up
is.
front, and as it warms, the cherry comes out more.
Oh yeah. So the color is coming out quite nicely. It's a brown.
And that was just like 6 ounces of
literally 6 ounces of
wheat.
midnight wheat for a 27-pound grain bill. So that's what it adds. It adds quite a bit of color.
Powerful. I noticed something about all your tanks. They all have names.
So all of our tanks are named after the American Gladiators from 1989 to 1992. So we've got Malibu, Nitro, Hawk, Viper, Turbo, Thunder, and Havoc in this cellar. And then the 2 little guys, which are experimental fermenters, which we'll do a half batch in here. Once I'm done testing on like the small homebrew system, we'll do a half batch in the kettle, and then the little guys are Zap and Jazz.
So when Mike and I and some of the guys at Northern Brewer started talking about who we want to do the next Pro Series line with, and we thought Tallgrass. We had a great relationship with you guys. We'd already met you a couple times, and we thought let's approach these guys. They make fantastic beers. It'd be a great fit into the lineup. What was your reaction when we started talking about this?
Oh man, we were flattered, right? I mean, I was homebrewing like 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, hell yeah. Northern Brewer, hell yeah. And we were excited about that. I mean, we're still young enough to where we're still very much living the dream.
Yeah.
So anytime we get tied in with someone of Northern Brewers reputation, then number one, we're flattered. Number two, we're excited about doing that and learning stuff from you guys too.
Sure.
So it has been fun working on the recipes. And getting that tied down for the Pro Series. And this is going to be great to have homebrewers out there brewing the beer and comparing it and having their friends over and really barbecue.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that was kind of our idea originally behind the Pro Series kit, was to, not only give these excellent recipes for these excellent beers to home brewers so they can brew it themselves, but also get brands outside of their normal reach.
Right. Yeah.
You know, for a brewery like Tallgrass or Surly, or especially like Town Hall back
Yeah.
in our hometown,
Yeah.
people can't get those beers, and
Right.
they're winning awards and they're getting accolades, and now the home brewer can make that beer themselves year round.
Yeah.
So it's a really exciting thing, and I think that the Tallgrass Pro Series is going to be an excellent lineup.
Well, we're excited about it.
Why are we all holding
All
the
right,
hops?
so we're all holding the hops because we're all doing the last edition, which is 2.5 ounces of German Hallertau.
All right.
It's been an awesome brew day, awesome people, awesome group of awesomeness, and it's been high frequency all day.
Good
It's
vibrations.
good vibrations.
Greasy.
Greasy. Oh yeah, we're good to go.
All right.
And on three, ready?
Critical.
Critical. One, two, three. Critical.
Critical!
Oh yeah.
Awesome brew day.
Yeah.
Critical.
Super critical.
Very critical.
So that was a good brew day. Wrapping things up.
Yeah. Speaking of wrapping things up, we should go check and see what Jeff and Jake are up to.
Yeah, let's go do it.
All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Woo!
Critical.
Critical.
That's 5 drinks. Hey guys, thanks for having us out. Thanks for a great time. Thanks for great beer. Thanks for some great kits for the Northern Brewer Pro Series lineup.
You're very welcome.
Most definitely.
It was, to borrow a phrase, critical.
Critical indeed. Critical for sure.
Critical.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I think all that's left to say is all for brew.
Brew for all.
Critical.
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 Now Chip will tell us how to do it differently.